Hello and welcome to Up Close and Personal with Heart Shaped Box. I'm Adam Webster, and this week we're joined by Nina Courson from Healthy Junkies. Hi, Nina. Welcome to the.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you want to start by telling us where it all began?
Yes, of course. So I was born and raised in a suburb of Paris in France. I always say the suburb because it's really different from being raised in Paris itself. You know, there's a bit of a war between suburban and Parisian because it's a completely different thing. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you get involved in music?
My parents have always been like massive music fans to start with, and I grew up listening to their vinyls, so in that kind of like background. And my dad also used to be a singer in the 70s in a psychedelic rock band, but then he got married, had a kid, so he kind of gave that all up. And then I also learned piano when I was about 12 to the age of 17. I had a lesson on that, and I was given a little synth keyboard when I was about 10, and I used to make early demo on tapes, and record some beats and things like that. So it's always been a part of my life, really. But it's really when I was a teenager that I decided to do my own band, really, and that's really when I started to be truly involved in it, I guess. Yeah.
So what music kind of played in the family house? I know you kind of touched on it there, but
yeah, so it's basically it was a vinyl, so I discovered a lot of 60s and 70s music from the Who, it's Rolling Stones, the Beatles, obviously, Led Zeppelin as well, the Doors, they were very, very big on the Doors as well, Patti Smith, Debbie Harry, all those things, really. Like I just had to go to their collection, pick and choose, and it was great.
So did you always feel that you were going to be a musician, or was there something else that you thought about early on in your life?
My true passion, as a little girl, was actually acting. And that's what I started doing when I was 9 years old. I did some acting to the age of 19. So really 10 years of drama classes. And to start with, it was to get rid of my shyness, which is a very common reason. But I think I always knew I was going to be a performer. I don't know about musician, but definitely a performer, because I always was attracted to the stage. My sister and I, we used to dress up and do some shows in front of the family and stuff. So I always wanted to do that, really, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So was there an album that ever changed your life?
That would be Nevermind by Nirvana, because even though now my favorite album is actually In Utero, but I heard Nevermind first when I was like 16, 15, and I just went like, wow, okay, I need to be in a band. This is what kind of, inspired me to be in a band. Yeah. And I would also say, well, it's just one album, so I'll stop there. Yeah, I'll stop there.
Yeah, so you can carry on. It's fine if you've got other albums. Tell me if they've changed your life. But tell us.
It's because basically I also had a bit of an obsession with Boy George from Culture Club, yeah. But that was more when I was little. I had a bit of a fascination for him. So I think it kind of started with him, and then Nirvana kind of completely confirmed it, I would say. Yeah.
So it's kind of like more the kind of, again, the acting kind of dramatized side of kind of like the Culture Club stuff. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. More than the music, I was more fascinated by him, by his persona, by his wit, and it was like a walking piece of art almost. I thought it was amazing. Yeah.
So if there was one artist you could listen to for the rest of your life and everyone else disappeared, who would you choose?
It had to be Nirvana, I think. Yes.
Okay, so what would your death row dinner be?
My death row dinner, I've thought about that one. It would have to be French cheeses, and a dessert I really like called chocolate charlotte, which is also like a French dessert, and it's amazing with sponge finger and cream, and like really outrageous but lovely. Yeah.
Okay. Are you a tea or coffee person? Tea. Yeah. How'd you have it?
I had it with milk and sugar, like the proper English way. I used to have it the French way, which is like black tea. That's how we take it in France. But when I came here, I got converted into the milk and the sugar for sure. Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite crisps?
My favorite crisp is hula hoops.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you
What
have
flavor?
that? Do you
Yeah.
like those?
What flavor?
Just a like natural one, like with no flavor. I
The
don't really
original,
like
yeah.
salt and vinegar. I don't really like. I think it leaves a bad taste in the mouth somehow. But the other one are kind of good, Yeah.
So can you remember what the first album you ever brought was?
So I was in a vintage fair. I think when I was about 11 or 12, and I found the Color by Numbers on vinyl, and because we had a vinyl player at home, I got that one. But I remember my first one on CD was in '97, and I bought Urban Hymns by The Verve because I really liked them too, and I used to play that album a lot. It's just amazing album. Yeah.
Great album, yeah. Can you remember the first gig you ever went to?
So the first gig I went to was a French band. Not a lot of people know them outside of France. They're called Indochine, and they're kind of rock band, but a bit like Depeche Mode type of vibe, a bit coffee. And I actually saw my first gig in the Bataclan in Paris, which is where the whole tragedy happened.
Yeah.
So obviously, when I heard about it, I think everybody, was like, wow. But the fact that I was there for my first gig, it's just unreal to think something like that would happen. But yeah, I would never forget that gig. Yeah.
Okay, so can you ever remember the name of your first ever demo tape?
Yeah, I was telling you earlier, I used to make little demo tapes, with my synths when I was really little, and I had I used to call it Manon Lescaut, which is the name of a French book. She's like a French heroine in a French book, really controversial because it's kind of the story of a man who's having this affair with this woman and she get humiliated, and it's set in the 18th century actually. So I remember really liking that story, and so I called the demo tape like that, Manon Lescaut, and it was kind of my persona name. I wanted to be called like that kind of thing.
What song makes you want to get up and dance?
Well, I've got two. I've got Get Free by The Vines, and I also really like Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. That one just always makes me dance. Yeah.
And is there a song that makes you sad?
Something in the Way by Nirvana. Yeah. Also my favorite song, but it makes me sad. Yeah.
So if you were to have a festival in the back garden, and who would you have as a headliner?
Well, I'm not going to say Kurt Cobain because it's going to get a bit boring otherwise, but I would say Jim Morrison.
Good shout, yeah.
Oh, Courtney Love, actually. That would be cool. Or maybe both of them. I don't know.
Jim Morrison and Courtney Love together.
Yeah, imagine that if they did a duet or something. That would be good.
It would be actually, yeah. It would be very interesting. Yeah. So what song would they play at your funeral?
I thought about that one. I would say Riders on the Storm because I love that song, but also because I don't want people to get too depressed. So something like God Save the Queen or something,
okay. Is there any bands or anything that you're listening to at the moment that you're enjoying, bands, artists?
Yeah. So at the moment, there's so many current things coming out, which is great. Like Emil and the Sniffers. Yeah. You've got Nova Twins. There's a wave of bands. With female artists and guitar, and I think it's amazing to see that happen.
Yeah,
so in terms of new band, I also like the garage scene, like Ty Segall and Bass Drums of Death. I don't know if you know them. That kind of scene is a bit more kind of niche. But King Lizard and the Lizard Wizard, like all those kind of psychedelic bands, and I like what's happening new, really. I always used to listen to the oldies, but lately I've been listening to more new things because there's a lot more now happening. And idols, I really like idols.
Love the idols, yeah. It just seems very exciting at the moment, doesn't it? You're right, in the kind of new music scene, and just even bands on the kind of periphery of getting big. There's some brilliant bands out there, like you've just said as well, some female fronted bands that are just rocking out completely.
I know. I saw the I watched a little bit of Glastonbury on TV, and I saw the Idol set, and I was like, wow, really blown away. They did such a good show.
So your new track is Cry of the Wolf, which is out on all streaming sites, I take it. So not just Spotify, but all streaming sites. Are you appearing live anywhere soon, or?
Yes, so we're actually going to be doing 2 acoustic shows, just me and the guitarist, on the 6th and 7th July in York and Chesterfield, which is in the north of England. Then we're going to be doing an electric one in London, in Camden Town, on the 15th of July at the Camden Assembly. We're doing quite a lot of shows in July. You can look on our website, www.healthyjunkies.co.uk, and all the dates are there. We're going to France as well for like a few dates in August. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fun. And the track we're releasing, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about it, because there's a bit of a story behind it. And basically, there was a guy called Wolf with a U who used to come to our shows for years. He was one of our first ever fans, and he was always arriving first, always cheering first, always up for it. And he basically passed away during lockdown. So we wrote a song for him called Cry of the Wolf. And we've got the drummer from The Damned playing on that track as well. And the reason is because he knew Wolf, and Wolf actually played the tambourine for The Damned in a very kind of like TV shows of the time called The Worlds. So if you Google The Damned on The Worlds, you can see Wolf playing the tambourine on it. And so it kind of made sense that we have the drummer from The Damned come and play the track. And it's been recorded by Dave Allen, who also recorded Love Cats for The Cure. So it's a bit of a, all-star lineup.
No, it's a brilliant track. Obviously, we reviewed it recently on our Instagram.
Thank you so much for doing this. Yes.
Yeah, I noticed it was kind of like a mysterious kind of. It felt forestry, kind of like that mystical kind of Dungeons and Dragons-esque, shall I say, kind of thing. It's it won't be lost on something like Stranger Things, like at the moment with their kind of soundtrack that they've got. And I read the actual, I did the review, and then I actually read your story, because I think you put a post a couple of days later about the track and about Wolf, and reading that it was inspired by his kind of like love for the mysterious kind of creatures and stuff.
He used to give us horror movie. I've got that one there actually, and he gave us that one, and he was just obsessed with vampire, and he even had a cape himself that he was wearing all the time with a cane, which is why we say in the song, the man with the cape and the cane is always here, because he looked like a vampire, and so we just thought, okay, we've got to do a song, something that we know he's going to like. And I'm pretty sure he would have liked it for sure. Yeah.
With the sounds of it, 100%. I think you nailed it straight on with what you said, the kind of thing would be like. So yeah, love the song. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, as I said to all the listeners, go out there and check out the new track. And for the website, we'll put that in the bio as well. So if you want to go onto the website. Excellent. Thank you very much. Yes.